So this is probably a bad idea since I was juggling how I want to talk about these two portions of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and how every time I brought this up to about 6 different people, they would all look at me collectively and go, wait, what? But hit me with a road roller if I actually care about being relevant and actually want to make sense with my decisions. At this point, I just don't care. Hi, I'm MangaKamen, and welcome to my channel, where you see things from comment... When it comes to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, and Diamond is Unbreakable, to put it simply, both had me going on a roller coaster of emotions. One moment I was holding my bated breath due to the fact that one of the main characters was about to die a death I myself had once feared as a child. Death by escalator. The next moment I'm laughing my robotic booty off when said characters
Soka.
That's the thing that drew my attention towards the anime and the series as a whole. It had a lot of twists and turns with my emotions, making me stare in awe, making me gag with disgust at the amount of blood and gore, and frankly, I loved every moment of it. But there's a question I need to ask. Which is better? Stardust Crusaders or Diamond is Unbreakable? For those who don't know, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a series of manga that's been around since 1987. So a series that's older than me. Ugh, feel old. And yet this series has managed to garner a ton of love and attention across the world to the point of... You're all freaks! The story of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure follows the tales of the Joestar family, where this family deals with supernatural enemies. The manga is split into 8 different parts, which follows a particular member of the family whose name can be abbreviated to Jojo. For this particular video, we're focusing on the 3rd and 4th parts of the animated version of the series. So our main characters are Jotaro Kujo and Josuke... Yeah, I'm not even gonna attempt to try to say that. Both of which have the power of stands. What's a stand? I don't know, I can barely stand you.
Oh, you stink!
It's a supernatural manifestation of a stand user's fighting spirit. And this is a main factor in both anime, and it's a power behind all the characters and the major factor, at least since part 3, when they were introduced.
Do you understand?
So, what's the appeal to both series, and which one was better?
Yes. Oh my god.
Both series have interesting plots, and since I don't want to spoil too much of them, I'll be condensing a bunch of it. Stardust Crusaders follows the exploits of Jotaro Kujo and his grandfather, and a few other stand uses as they travel to Egypt in order to find the family enemy, Dio.
Name is Dio, and now that he has been awakened from his 100-year slumber, it is our fate to fight that man!
Whose very own presence is awakening a stand that threatens to kill Jotaro's mother, Holly, so it's up to Jotaro's crew to save her, all the while dealing with various stand assassins. Diamond is Unbreakable follows Josuke, and I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name because I'm probably gonna butcher it, but whatever. A young student in the town of Morio when one day Jotaro appears before Josuke and follows the adventures of Josuke and his friends as a mysterious situation occurs over in the town and various stand users appear in the streets, followed along with a bunch of murders. Both series have their up and downs. For Stardust, we got a clear goal and we have quite the variety of locations to see throughout the series. It offers a lot to it and has a lot of depiction of the culture outside the typical anime and explores different cultures, which is actually very impressive and good in anime because it gives a lot more of depth and feel to the world. Diamond is Unbreakable, on the other hand, is a lot more solid location for the series, the town of Morio, and the town is huge with some very unique landmarks, which the show does love to use.
じいちゃんの守ったこの町で永久に生きるんだな。
アンジェロ岩は道しるべとして、また恋人たちの約束の場所として。What the fuck?
Now, both plots have their issues. For Stardust, it's Dio's coffin, which is a large retcon and brings up a lot of head-scratchers since it contradicts the ending of Part 1 of JoJo. Diamond is Unbreakable is also odd and frankly has a number of issues that I have with its plot, which is something that will warrant its own video that you'll see down the line from my channel. I will say that despite both their flaws, I like both plots. Stardust has that charm of a Monster of the Week show that I love. Hey, I'm a Super Sentai and Kamen Rider fan. But Diamond has that everyday charm with a surreal in it. Both are good, but if I had to say, I think Diamond is Unbreakable has the better plot. But it's really close. The reason being is that it has a bit more relatability and has more common town dealing with the supernatural. I don't know, it just appeals a bit more to me. Both series have a large cast of characters, so I'll focus on more of the main characters, since we'd be drowned in a sea of characters and this video would take forever.
No!
However, one thing to note is the minor villains in both series. In Stardust Crusaders, pretty much every assassin is irredeemable, with the exception of the beginning with two characters, Kakyoken and Polnareff. Most of the villains in the third act are completely irredeemable, which, you know, isn't a bad thing. Hell, I like Tokusatsu when there's a lot of that kind of thing going on and the villains are irredeemable. But consider that even in the first part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, we had Bruford regain some redemption to some extent before he was killed off. Still, throughout Stardust Crusaders, most of the villains are rendered to be a monster of the week sort of vibe, and like I said, I kinda like that. Not to mention, they are interesting with their powers, designs, and basically their personalities as well. But a majority of them never do get redeemed. They're either killed off or made to become irrelevant. Diamond is Unbreakable is a different story, however. Heck, most of the antagonists of the cast go through their own redemptions, or at the very least they get their butts handed to them and then they at least learn from their own ways. A good number of them do get fleshed out more and they become more likable. Take for example Yuya, obviously a villain that we saw who was trying to be selfish with his goals.
一旦おめえを直せばよ。これで全然卑怯じゃねえわけだな。神優也入院続行。
And then...
だが喜んで敗北するよ。ペラッペラの紙になったんでシュレッダーの中に手を突っ込められたからな。なんと俺は喜んで神になるんです。
That's actually pretty awesome!
神優也おめえなんかちょっぴりかっこいいんじゃねえかよ。
Yeah, as Josuke says, he's actually pretty cool. In addition, when you meet the characters in Diamond is Unbreakable, you don't know where they stand.
Oh, you stink!
I hate that pun. Whether they're good, bad, or neutral, especially when you consider that there are a ton of stand users in the town. Don't get me wrong, there are villains in Diamond who do just get their just desserts, but the fact that there are more villains who actually do redeem themselves in the series makes those moments where the villains get back what's coming to them all the more satisfying. And even then, not all of them just die, although you can make an argument of being transformed into a book is a fate worse than death.
エニグマの少年宮本照之助。
But back on the point, the secondary characters seem to fall in more favor with Diamond is Unbreakable. But for the main portion of this section, let's compare the main characters, Jotaro and Josuke. Let's face it, both the characters have their pros and cons. Both are strong, both have intelligence, and both are powerful in their own rights. But let me say, I like Josuke a lot more than Jotaro.
Even a bastard like me can spot true evil when he sees it.
Yes, Jotaro is the strong silent type, and by all rights is a badass. But Josuke has a lot more emotion. At least we're shown his emotions other than anger and stoic indifference, which for most of the time, for Jotaro, is kind of his default.
Oh, that's creepy.
Don't get me wrong, it's damn satisfying to see Jotaro have Star Platinum lay smackdown on an enemy stand, but as a character, I like Josuke more. You see, he's respectful, he's loyal, he gets mad if you talk smack about his hair,
今なんつった。
and he can be really entertaining at times. I guess if I had to put it, I see Josuke as more human, and I like that. Jotaro is designed to be more of a character you start to become, while Josuke is a more relatable character. Heck, the fact that the two hold the same classification of character, delinquent, there are notable differences between the two, even to their designs.
The Worldo! What the
So now that I've effectively wasted a few minutes of your time, I need to say something. I didn't watch the first two parts when I first started scripting this video, of course. I've seen the whole of Phantom Blood, and I considered including the first two parts in this. Of course, I'm a lazy hunk of junk that deserves to be trashed, so at this point I don't really care about that, and I just want to get this video done. But to the question, which is better? Stardust Crusaders or Diamond Unbreakable is better? Yeah, I'll say it, I think Diamond is Unbreakable is better. Stardust Crusaders is fun, don't get me wrong. It's amazing to see Star Platinum lay the smackdown with this barrage of auras, and the fight between Dio and Jotaro is very impressive and entertaining. And it does hold the placement of being the most iconic JoJo series. But that and there lies the rut. Jotaro. This came down to the main character of both parts for me. As I said, it's satisfying to see Jotaro fight against his opponents, especially against Dio. But for Diamond is Unbreakable, I just enjoy the atmosphere a lot more that the show offers. It has the calming, everyday feel of a slice of life anime, but is immediately interrupted by the supernatural elements and the fighting. This might not be the same for other fans of the show and the manga, but then again, my first experience with Jojo was the dubbed OVA of Stardust Crusaders. And I like that. So obviously my opinion is trash, and so am I. So let me know in the comments down below which of the two series you like more, or which series in general of JoJo you like. It doesn't have to just be anime, tell me which one of the series you like best. I do plan on tackling more about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in the future, and if you have any suggestions for videos, let me know in the comments below. I'm TrashKamen, and remember to examine your fandom.